Hey, good afternoon. Welcome aboard the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Glad to have you on this Thursday. Things are looking better outside. Got a lot of snow last night. Yep, but
you say they're looking better.
Looking better. Temperatures up, starting to melt. Seeing things dripping off the trees a little bit, slowly but surely. So another cold day tomorrow, but warming up by the weekend. They're saying next week 50s and 60s. I'm all about that. So welcome aboard. Thanks for being on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, being with us, and we're here for the next couple of hours. Lots of sports to talk to you about. We're going to be hearing from down in the NASCAR world, getting ready to go racing tomorrow with qualifying and maybe some testing today, although they had a lot of snow in and around the Atlanta area. But we'll hear from Paul Menard and Brian Vickers from the NASCAR camp a little bit later on. Saw the camera wiggle. Did you nudge it again?
Did I nudge it? I guess I did.
Did you nudge it? You nudged it? Nudged it? So.
We're going to have to do something about that camera.
We'll have to get you, move you down the desk a little bit. The big old, what size boot do you wear, by the way?
I'm only a 10.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I act like a 12.
Yes, you do. Act like a 14. That's why. We'll hear from Paul Menard and Brian Vickers. Also, we're going to hear from Frank Lett from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. Got a big basketball tournament going on as we speak inside of Meadowview, which is a pretty cool thing. That's the Conference Resort and Convention Center in Kingsport, where they have home shows next weekend. They have the big Kingsport Chamber Dinner, and they've redone the Grand Ballroom to make it a basketball facility for the tournament. We'll hear from him about that. See how the Milligan College Buffaloes and Lady Buffaloes are doing in that tournament. David Carmichael is going to join us, starting a new series. The folks from the Johnson City Parks and Rec, they've heard our show, heard about us, and said, we want to be on your show. And so we'll check in with David Carmichael from the Johnson City Parks and Rec for a few minutes. He's got all kinds of things to talk about, softball registration and youth kickball registration.
Yep.
T-ball.
T-ball. I remember when Manchild played T-ball.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, was he always bigger than all the other kids?
Always.
Really?
Yeah.
Always bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, T-ball registration. Manchild, by the way, is his son, and he's like 6'12" and 287 pounds. He's a big old boy. Youth softball, adult softball, we'll talk to Carmichael. Also, David Crum is going to join us from the TWRA. Talking about hunting licenses and fishing licenses and also hunter safety courses. And he also told me that, doesn't look like it today, but in about a month, spring turkey season starts in the woods of Tennessee, so he'll tell us all about that. So all that's going on, as we've said, plus Paul Menard and Brian Vickers. And if you live in and around Boone Lake, or if you have a boat on Boone Lake, or you spend time recreationally at Boone Lake, you'll want to be listening, because later on we'll get a report. There's a press conference getting ready to happen here a little bit later on.
Actually, starting about now.
Starting about right now. Thank you. That's going to detail what's going on with Boone Lake with the TVA. I think if you aren't aware, there's been problems with Boone Dam, and so they're in the midst of making some changes. They've drawn the water down to the lowest level in many, many, many years. And so what's going to be the decision, what's going to happen, it's going to impact a lot of people. A lot of the marinas are concerned about the upcoming spring and summer boating season. Homeowners on the lake are concerned, so it impacts a lot of people. And we'll have an answer for that, hopefully get an answer from that press conference for you coming up here in a little while. Today's show, again, it is all about him. We dedicate the show to the Lord, the good Lord Jesus. The verse of the day, Jeremiah 33:3, call unto me, and I will answer you. Comes from the big guy, comes from God. Call unto me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things that you do not know. Whoo, booyah. That's the verse of the day. Jeremiah 33:3, call unto me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things that you do not know.
And that says prayer works.
There you go. You got it. I can sit here for the next 2 hours to tell you how prayer works in my life. So, show's brought to you by Bracket Asphalt Maintenance, Max Meadows and Mart. Talked to Dr. Walton a few minutes ago. They are open. The parking lot has been scraped at Max, and so business as usual under the conditions at Max Meadows and Mart. Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, the #1 farmers insurance agent in 5 states. Vito's open today, ready to go. Some great Italian food. Could this be the day today? We would make a little trek over. Could this be a day?
Might be. I'll have to check with Mrs. V.
Mrs.
But,
V.
If she's
game.
If she's game or willing to let me go.
Well, I would take her with us.
Well, okay.
Yeah, take Mrs. V with us.
She go to Vito's this evening?
Yeah, does she enjoy Italian?
She likes anything, yeah. She can't have shellfish anymore, but she likes everything else. She's just like me, man. The 2 peas in a pod.
Okay. I know there's a story.
But she doesn't put it down like I do.
Well,
no. But
I'm sure there's a story why she can't have shellfish. We'll save that for a little bit
Well,
later.
no, it's
just one of those
it's
things.
a common thing.
Okay. Cherokee Barbershop, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Book Lovers Warehouse, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, and our good friends at Wells Fargo Financial Network on board, and we love that. That would be Greg Taylor and Jeff Bedford and Tim Colvin and Natalie Wells. Those are our sponsors for today's show as we're here on day number, 14 of our Fun and Frolic. You can find us again on Tunein Radio, iTunes. We're on YouTube now. We're on the Stitcher phone app. And right now we're on livestream.com, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. All right, got some stories happening. Let's start with the kid out of Florida State. What happened there?
Florida State, a young man by the name of Rathan Mays scored 30 points in 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, what?
Scored 30 points in the game.
In 4 minutes?
In 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
All right, he had to have shot, 30 points in 4 minutes. He's had to have 3 or 4 3-pointers.
I don't know what he had, but he lit it up. That's what it is.
Oh, it doesn't tell you how he scored it?
No, well, I hadn't read it. I don't have the story in front of me. It was a video.
Gotcha.
I didn't watch
30
the video,
points in 4 minutes.
And I saw it on the news last night, too. They were talking about it. Yeah. Freshman.
30. Well, yeah, but I'm thinking 30 points in 4 minutes. An individual, not a team.
No, an individual.
Yeah, I want to know how he did that.
NCAA record.
I want to know how he did that.
Well, he was on the court for 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Yeah.
We know that much.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be 3-pointers.
Well,
I mean, unless he just boom, 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 rapid fire every time he got the ball, he shot it. But my guess, let's see, 30 points, 30 divided by 3.
That's roughly 7 points a minute.
Yeah. So he had to make, if he shot all threes, he had to make 10 threes in 4 minutes. I guess that's possible. It means every time they came down the floor, he got the ball and jacked it up and went in. So, anyway, got 30 points in 4 minutes, an NCAA record for a freshman from the Seminoles of Florida State. What else on the sports desk? What else you got going on?
A federal judge has overturned the indefinite suspension of Adrian Peterson and reinstated his eligibility immediately.
Really?
Yes.
Based on what? What was his basis?
Well, let's look here.
All right.
I got that story pulled up. He granted the union's motion. So this came from the NFL Players Union to vacate the punishment of Peterson, who was suspended indefinitely last season and pleaded no contest to reckless and negligent injury to a child. He was accused of hitting his 4-year-old son with a switch. Commissioner first placed him on indefinite suspension, which meant he could not play in any games but still could be paid. He was later removed from that list and was suspended outright. Let's see here. Part of Peterson's appeal asserted that he should be credited with the time he served on the commissioner's exempt list. The appeal was first heard by the NFL, and Henderson upheld the NFL suspension.
So he's been reinstated.
But a federal judge has overruled that and
that'll get
reinstated his eligibility immediately.
That'll get him rolling.
And that was based on a motion by the Players Union.
That will get some results and some reaction to folks across the country, particularly the folks in the domestic abuse corner. And so some will say yay and some will say nay. So anyway, he's back reinstated now. The question is, will the Vikings take him back or will they release him? I don't know what his contract states, or can he move on to another team? Will the Vikings welcome him back? He's a heck of a talent.
Well, just because he's eligible doesn't mean anybody's going to touch him.
Right.
Okay.
That's
I mean, the NFL has been hit hard with these domestic violence type, allegations against their players. They did what they thought they had to do to nip it in the bud. They did it. Now some federal judge, based upon a motion by the Players Union, has ruled no. You can't do that. And put him back, at least reinstate his eligibility.
Yeah.
So, but if I was a team, I wouldn't touch him with 10-foot pole.
No.
I don't care how good he is.
All it does is put him back on the open market.
Oh, it puts a microscope on your team and your play and everything.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, and it's tough because the guy's a heck of a talent, but consequences for your choices.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get into the whipping situation. I mean, I got spanked all the time growing up. I deserved it. So I don't know who's right, who's wrong in that scenario. But
I'm not going to criticize him for disciplining his child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't all have kids, but if you have kids and you've raised them, sometimes you want to take a switch to them.
Amen, brother.
But corporal punishment, used in an appropriate fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was used on me. It was used on the man-child.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say that.
Right. But there is a limit.
Right. There's a limit, and you can't overexert yourself. And I guess at some point in time, maybe he did. Could have been an overzealous ex-wife or somebody, but that maybe made the allegations. But he admitted to it. So what can you do?
Bottom line is, the laws of the land found him to be in violation of said ways to do things. So anyway, he's back on the open market. Whether he is picked up and picked up by another football team remains to be seen. But again, the judge has said he can go back to the NFL if he wants to. College basketball last night. Number 1 Kentucky beat Mississippi State. Again, the Wildcats still undefeated at 28-0. Number 2 Virginia, number 11 Wichita State, all got W's. Richmond knocks off 22nd ranked Virginia Commonwealth in double overtime in men's college basketball. The Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament at Meadowview. We're going to be talking to Frank Lett next half hour about that tournament. Montreat and Bluefield got wins. Milligan plays at 7:30 tonight against Bluefield. Pretty cool setup because all the teams are there. You're thinking, okay, how are these teams getting back and forth? But all the teams are staying in Meadowview. Now, folks aren't familiar with this particular facility. It's nice. It's a Marriott facility, and so they've taken the grand ballroom and made it into a basketball arena, a pseudo arena, but it serves the purpose. And so all the teams live upstairs or staying upstairs. All they do is come down an elevator and come out on the floor and play. So tournament's guaranteed to happen despite the wintry weather we've had. And so Milligan, they started at noon on the guys' side, and Milligan will play the third game tonight at 7:30 against the Bluefield Rams. And so that'll be happening on the guys' side. On the ladies' side, let's see how they did over there. Here we go. Milligan's ladies defeated Truett McConnell by 20-21 last night for Rich Rodbury's team, and they play today at 3:30. So the Lady Buffaloes, which is our local team of sorts, they'll take on Bryan at 3:30. All this happening at the Appalachian Athletic Conference at Meadowview, thanks to the Kingsport Times News. Got to give them props because that's where we're getting our material from. And so they'll play those games at Meadowview. We'll talk to Frank Lett about that coming up in a minute. By the way, on my hat,
on
my
your
buddy,
head.
on my head, my hat, I should say.
Tater.
There, my tater. Thank you. Big old melon head, pumpkin. We have proudly the Jeff Bird 500, a great gentleman, and what an ambassador for NASCAR, Bristol Motor Speedway, and just a heck of a humanitarian. And so always every now and then want to pull it out and wear the Jeff Bird Food City 500 hat. They named the race in his honor a couple of years ago after he tragically passed away, and untimely passed away. But his hearts, or he is in our hearts, I should say. And, of course, I always wear this. You can't see it, but it says, Jeff Bird, exceed expectations. Always have that on, too, in honor of Jay Bird, as we called him. And so, anyway, that's a plug for Jeff Bird and the fantastic folks at Bristol Motor Speedway. High school basketball, it was Sullivan South getting a big W. Beat Chucky Doak 67-60 yesterday. Granger in overtime beat Sullivan East 80-79. So the Patriots are done. Elizabethton's guys beat Cumberland Gap by 15, 56-41. Greenville eliminated Unicoi County 75-61 in boys tournament play in AA. In Virginia, Gate City blistered. Wow, I mean, they flat wore out Lehigh 82-40. Whoo! Union beat Central 48-41. J.I. Burton beat Rye Cove by a 74-34 score. It's been so long since we've had basketball scores. I'm going to read the scores too. I'm in a drought. I got to hear them. Twin Springs, I should say, the Fighting Titans of Coach McCrary defeated Thomas Walker 55-40. And Castlewood's guys beat Clintwood 69-56. Again, that's all boys action in Tennessee and in Virginia. On the ladies' side, Science Hill and South Doyle still didn't play last night, and it doesn't look like they're going to play today.
I
mean, they're in a bind. But I've got a story where the TSSAA stepped up. To their credit, we stay on them all the time about stupid stuff they've done. Well, to their credit, they have stepped up, and they have made a very, very good move. I wouldn't say stupid stuff, but things you kind of scratch your head on. But they, at this time, have made a change for the good. We applaud them for it. Girls winners, Union beat Lee 61-20. Clintwood's ladies over Eastside in Virginia 80-34. Castlewood's ladies beat J.I. Burton 51-44. Elizabethton's Lady Cyclones. Hello to Ben Grindstaff. Ben said, he sent me a Facebook message last night and said, how about those Lady Cyclones? Ben, you're right. They can play. They won by 32, 77-45. And Granger knocked off Greenville's ladies 72-66. So stage is set for round 2, and I think everything's going to be scrapped today and be picked back up tomorrow. And it should be. The weather looks like it's going to be much better from here on out. So, in fact, next week they're talking 50s and 60s. So I think this layoff of sorts is going to be behind us. We're going to get a lot of basketball in tomorrow and Saturday and Monday as well. And I wanted to, before we go to the break, do want to tell you that give props on this one to the Johnson City Press. All 4 of the Region 1 AA boys basketball games scheduled for last night were postponed. So with teams getting further and further behind schedule, here we go. The TSSAA responded by changing the dates of both the boys and girls sectional contest. The girls sectional or sub-state will be played Monday. The boys sectional or sub-state will be played on Tuesday. Now, as part of the process for changing the sectional dates, the TSSAA also opted for eliminating the blind draw for first-round tournament pairings. Matchups were drawn Wednesday will be based on the region of the sectional winner, so it's going to be basically a geographic draw. And at this point,
this seed plays this seed, this seed, whatever.
However this region plays that region, and
however
so
however you finished.
It's a geographic thing, and quite frankly, at this point, probably the best way to do it. Maybe the best way to do it anyway. Just throw them in there. Of course, no, that's not the best way, because a lot of times in the past, East Tennessee would play the Memphis area, and that's where the supremacy is in basketball in the Memphis, West Tennessee area. So a lot of times you drew the best team in that first round, and some coaches said, throw them in the hat. If we got to play them, we'll ultimately have to play them anyway. But you kind of like to get somebody else besides one of those powerhouses.
There's another simple solution.
What would that be?
Just get rid of playing everything in Murfreesboro. If it wasn't for Murfreesboro and that time allotted, that window that they have to play, okay, and the money that they would accumulate off that, we wouldn't be in this position, because you can just keep backing things up, and if the team, the winner, the highest seed, would play at home for the championship.
Moolah.
You got it. That
drives the buzz, doesn't it?
That's it.
It drives just about every topic we talk about.
That's so simple, but
that's true. That's true.
Sorry.
It would work. Makes sense to me. Bottom line is we get some basketball in, certainly not today, but it looks like hoops are going to be coming around tomorrow and Saturday for sure. So, of course, tomorrow we'll tell you who's going to be playing where. You have a lot of choices to get out and watch some great basketball, both guys and girls in Tennessee and Virginia coming up. Oh, I heard the popping.
Yes.
Nothing like a Diet Dew. Make a man feel good on a Thursday. Did you get it?
I got it.
Oh, a big old gulp and a sigh over there. Quick break. We'll come right back. We'll check in with our first NASCAR driver, and that would be Paul Menard, again, young man who started 21st, finished 25th for Richard Childress Racing and the Menard Chevrolet. Of course, moving on to Atlanta. We'll try and check during the break and see what the weather was like. I think they got snow last night in Atlanta, so the testing that was scheduled today may get scrapped. I know everything else goes on track tomorrow with qualifying and for all 3 races this weekend in Atlanta. They're also calling for that dreaded word for race fans, RAIN, on Sunday. Looks like it may be a chance for rain in Atlanta on Sunday for the running of that particular race. But, again, we'll have Horace check the weather during the break. We'll come right back and check in Paul Menard as you listen on this Thursday to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Thursday. Again, Feb 26? Yep. And 14 days into our show. Sad story coming out of baseball today. We talked about this yesterday briefly, that Josh Hamilton got called to the commissioner's office. And not a tough story, sad story for this young man who has battled the demons of drug and alcohol abuse for a number of years. And so stories out now that he had a drug relapse in the off season, and tough stuff. Again, he has battled cocaine use and alcohol abuse for a number of years. And so, again, Josh Hamilton suffering a drug relapse. Los Angeles outfielder Josh Hamilton involving the use of cocaine and alcohol in the off season. Hamilton, a well-documented history of substance abuse problems dating to his days in the minors when he was suspended from baseball from February of 04 to June of 06 for issues related to cocaine and alcohol addiction. And so the Angels confirmed that he met with Major League Baseball officials in New York yesterday about a discipline action, but offered no specifics as to the nature of any offense. He gets tested, I believe, 3 times a week. He has to go and be tested. So
3 times a week?
Yeah. One of the conditions of Hamilton's reinstatement in 2006 was that he would undergo drug testing 3 times a week.
And he still failed.
Still failed. So,
man.
And he's gone clean for a while. Now he's had a relapse. He had alcohol relapses in 09 and 2012, bouncing back in between to make back-to-back World Series trips for the Rangers, and then he actually won the 2010 American League MVP award. This guy's a heck of an athlete, but took off the 03 season, didn't play baseball from 2002 to 2006, signed a 5-year, $125 million deal with the Angels prior to the 13 season. So Josh Hamilton, again, suffering a relapse. Major League Baseball now, they got to do something, I suppose. They got to discipline him in some way, shape, or form, I would think, because he's violated the agreement that he had with Major League Baseball. So he underwent shoulder surgery earlier this month, expected to be out until at least May. Has not been with the team in spring training in Arizona. So Angels have permitted Hamilton to stay at a friend's house in Houston while he rehabs from the surgery, even though players typically stay with their teams in these situations, but he's going to stay in Houston to be rehabbed. So the old where there's smoke, there's fire, things don't sound like it's going to be good for Josh Hamilton. Looks like Major League Baseball, purely speculation, is going to lower the boom on him. So he's not with the team. And they're right. When you're hurt, you typically go out and be with the team anyway. Yeah, and he's not. So tough situation. Josh Hamilton, heck of an athlete, but again, a drug relapse involving cocaine and alcohol during the off season. You checked during the break. What's the weather like?
It's dreary in Atlanta.
Dreary in Atlanta. It's
35 degrees. There's still wet precipitation in the area. And I'm pretty sure they had a little bit of snowfall last night. So
now this will bring up the argument because, they switched. And normally after Daytona we go to Phoenix.
Yeah, but what are the odds of Atlanta having snow?
Exactly. That would be my rebuttal to that. Okay, but this is a freak thing. Here it is in February. Snow all the way down to Atlanta.
Right, so go to Phoenix next and then come back.
Next year. So they moved it. But no, I say keep in the South. This is a fluke. And so, I even see who was I reading? Ronnie Hammond, the street guy from the city of Kingsport, read in the Kingsport Times News today. He said, unprecedented even here. We've had 4 snowstorms.
Back to back to back to back.
Yeah, with anywhere from 3 to 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow, plus the temperatures last week got down below zero.
Oh, yeah.
Unprecedented. So the argument will be we should be in Atlanta. Some will. Some will say we totally understand, but there'll be somebody who goes, we should be in Phoenix. But anyway, it's cold and dreary and wet in Atlanta. Testing may be scrapped today, but qualifying tomorrow. Let's give you the schedule, what's going to be going on tomorrow. Practice session for the Xfinity Series tomorrow at 10 and 11:30. Also, Camping World Truck Series practice tomorrow at 2:30. Also, Cup qualifying will be practice tomorrow. Also for the Sprint Cup Series race on Sunday, and they'll actually have Cup practice and qualifying at 5:45 tomorrow afternoon, again in Atlanta. So, obviously, weather permitting, but looks like the things are going to clear up tomorrow for that. Now, we started the show by talking about Boone Lake and the TVA. This has an impact on a lot of folks here in the region. If you're not from the region, or if you're living out of the region now, not aware of what's going on, the dam has a leak of some proportion. They don't know how major, but major enough to draw the water down to its lowest levels in years, for them to go in and go under the dam and actually do some checking, which has been going on for, seems like several months now. And so there is a press conference that they're about to outline what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and how it will impact owners of property and certainly folks who love to boat and enjoy the waters of Boone Lake in the spring and summer and even into the fall. So that is happening as we speak, and we will hope to have an answer to let you know what they've decided they're going to do. But I've talked to a lot of folks who live out on the lake, and they're really concerned. The marinas, I mean, if you see pictures, the marinas like 100 and maybe 150 yards back up here where this little trickle of water is now. So they're very, very concerned it's going to impact their businesses, and I think it's a justifiable concern, I guess would be the word I'd be looking for. All right, let's check in with Paul Menard. Paul Menard, one of the NASCAR drivers, Richard Childress Racing, the Menard Chevrolet, started 21st, finished 25th. The question posed to Paul Menard was, do you still like racing?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I enjoyed driving race cars. I still do to this day. And I won't say the easy part is, but the part you enjoy the most is right before the race, getting strapped in the car. You fire the engines and you start to do your pace laps, get ready to go race. That's fun. That's a lot. That's what we wake up for every day. There's a lot of stress involved with how you prepare and do all these other things, but ultimately the end is a lot of fun. It's very rewarding when you have a good day, and it's very humbling when you have a bad day.
So as far as your routines go, which routines do you like the best? Which routines do you not like with all your job?
Well, I mean, the traveling gets hard. It's a long season. It's was it 40 weeks total, 38 weekends, and it gets to be a lot. That's the hardest part. But again, we're so wired to do that. We've been doing this for so long that when you do have the off season, or you might have an off weekend during the season, and you sit home for a few extra days, you don't really know what to do. You're accustomed to having that schedule and that routine. So you miss out on a lot of things. You miss friends' weddings. You miss I've got a little daughter, and I've missed a couple steps of her growth. But this off season was great to kind of be with her and see her achievements. Yeah, I mean the driver is definitely not the key component. They're a cog, but they get the most press and most out there. But there's so many people behind the scenes that make everything happen that that get overlooked. Obviously the crew chiefs, the owners, but just everybody back at the body shop, the fab shop, the chassis shop, engine shop, and they work just as hard as anybody in the sport, and they don't get the recognition they deserve. But they our guys at RCR, they work obviously very hard. Everybody in this industry does, but they build some really beautiful race cars, and they're a lot of fun to drive.
Paul Menard, again, the Menard Chevrolet, Richard Childress Racing, again, started 21st, finished 25th in Daytona 500, and again, pop it up and I'll read that, or you can read it, either one. Mrs. V has done it. Go ahead. What's the latest? Just got an update on what's happening. Yeah. No news is good news, I guess, but here's the very latest on what's going on with the Boone Dam situation.
TVA basically didn't say much. I don't know why they had a news
conference.
But they're still having experts assess the problem with the dam. Water levels are currently between 1,350 and 1,355 feet. Normally in winter, the level is 1,362. Summer level is usually 1,382. They probably won't know until sometime this summer what the timetable for repair will be. The Army Corps of Engineers says years. I would tend to think Army Corps knows what's going on. Another company says it's been known to repair leaks in months. Now, there'll be a public information meeting.
One says years. The Army Corps of Engineers, don't they make a living building things?
Yeah.
And in essence, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They say years. Another company's come out and said we can do it in months. And when's the timing? In March is when they're going to let people know?
They're going to have a public information meeting to be held at Daniel Boone High School on March the 10th. Don't have a time, but March the 10th.
That'll be coming up 2 weeks from this past Tuesday.
Yeah. Now, it sounds like to me there's some public company out there that's going to try to make a quick buck. That's just me. If I was, if my livelihood and the safety and security of the area and the homeowners and all, I know it may be a hard pill to swallow, but I would think the Army Corps of Engineers knows a heck of a lot more about building dams and what the structure of that dam is and how to repair it and that sort of thing, more so than some company that just says, it's just a sinkhole, we can fill it in, we'll take care of it. I don't know.
What kind of meeting are we having on March 10th?
Public information meeting, I guess, when the homeowners and business owners and whatnot can meet and discuss or have a powwow with TVA. So
something don't add up here. So I'm ciphering. I'm getting hit with this. I got a chance to study on this, but something definitely does not sound right. But anyway, so that's the very latest. They're going to reassess, is what they said.
Yeah. Well, no, they're still assessing.
Still assessing. I'm sorry.
But they've been assessing this for a year and a half.
Yeah, you're right. So why are we dragging our feet? By now, if they don't. All right. There again, I don't do this for a living, but if it takes me a year and a half to go down there and find out what's wrong with this dam, we still don't know. I need to get somebody else to go down there and find out what's going on. I mean, it is what it is. It's a dam, and if it's structural damage, okay. If it's a leak right here, okay. If it's this problem, and I'm probably way oversimplifying it, but a year and a half, we still don't have an answer.
I think the latest I heard, and this is not, I don't know. I haven't got any reliable source that says this is what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
But I read somewhere where possibility water is seeping through under the dam through the foundation that the dam was built upon.
Okay.
So if the water's coming down and going under the dam and coming back up and seeping through, sounds like you have an issue where it may not necessarily be the dam and its structure itself, but the foundation that the dam is built upon.
Yeah, maybe there's been some settling because that dam's been there a long time. So
but if that's the issue, how do you fix it?
Well, there you go.
You got to take the dam apart and redo the
exactly
foundation.
Right.
Build
in
it
that
up
case,
again.
it will be years. So if that, in fact, is the problem, maybe that's what they're – I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're trying to skirt it, but a year and a half, out of fairness to the homeowners on the lake and certainly the folks that make a living out there with fishing and the marinas, and these folks deserve an answer so they can, make appropriate take appropriate actions rather to do what they've got to do. And I don't know what you can do, but
I better take Paul's picture down. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Paul's gone. Thank you, Paul. We've got Brian Vickers coming up in a minute. So anyway, that's what's going on in Boone Lake. I would think homeowners and those folks deserve an answer as soon as possible. They can take steps to do what they've got to do because, some of those folks out there, their livelihood depends on that lake. And if it's going to be down or not even be there this summer, then they got to come up with a plan B to generate some revenue. So the sooner the better, I'm sure, for those folks. And you said March the 10th will be a meeting?
Yeah.
And that'll be at Daniel Boone High School. And we don't have a baseball game that night. I'll have to double check.
Might be a good one to go attend.
I may be sitting right there in the middle with my little recorder wanting to hear what's going on because that's a big, big story, a lot more than people realize, I think, here in our region. And not only for that, the recreational aspect, but just for the water levels, the TVA, and the continuity of all the different dams in our region. So there's a lot at stake, and the sooner, as I said, the better for the folks that are involved to get an answer. That way they can do what they've got to do. So anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Buzzer, it's quiz show time. Brought to you by American Import and Auto Repair and Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. Scoreboard says 3. Can we go to 4 winners? We'll see. Coming up next, we've got the quiz show here on this Thursday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed. one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday again, Feb 26, 2015. Day number 14 of our Fun and Frolic. And coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll check in with Frank Lett, the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. He's going to join us. Also, David Carmichael. They heard us and they said, we want to be on your show. And so David Carmichael from the Johnson City Parks and Rec will be joining us every week. And he'll be right around 2 o'clock today. David Crum, the TWRA, he's going to join us, telling us about hunting licenses and hunter safety courses. And also we've got coming up Brian Vickers talking about his heart condition. He can't race until next week. He had major heart surgery and been out as a NASCAR driver for Michael Waltrip Racing. So he'll be back in the car next week in Vegas. We'll hear from him a little bit later on. But now it's time to talk to the lady, buzzer Alicia Phelps from the town of Jonesborough. Good afternoon, sunshine. How are you?
Well, Tom, I'm trying to thaw out, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, how much snow did you have at your place this morning?
Well, I'm thinking that overall I've got almost a foot of snow. We probably got about 6 inches yesterday, though.
Yeah. So could you get out okay? Did you have to get out and shovel?
I did have to get out and shovel, so that's become part of my daily routine. So I enjoy the exercise. Try to stay positive about it.
So those muscles are getting kind of ripped and buff now, right?
That's right. That's right. I don't need to go to the gym anymore. I just shovel snow.
There you go. Well, it's supposed to warm up. It's going to be good. And we're going to talk about what's going on in Jonesborough coming up in a few minutes, including got tickets to go to the – have you ever been to the Jonesborough Kiwanis Club Spaghetti Dinner?
Have I ever been?
Yeah.
You know what? I've not been able to go before, but it really is one of the hit events of the year in Jonesborough. If you've got a ticket to go, you really should.
Yeah, Pat Wolf gave me a couple of tickets, and so I'm going to go Saturday night. It's this Saturday to Jonesborough Middle School and Jonesborough Kiwanis Club. All you can eat. You like spaghetti?
I do like spaghetti, but I do like the meat in my spaghetti to be turkey, Tom.
Oh, really?
Yes, I know that's interesting. It is a little better than the beef, I will say.
So when you have your pescetti, as they call it back home, you like to have turkey meatballs in your spaghetti?
Yes.
Cool. I've never had turkey meatballs. So how does that differ from beef? Less spicy?
Well, it doesn't make you as miserable after you've eaten it, and then it's just, not as greasy. So.
All right. There you go. So, anyway, the spaghetti dinner coming up this Saturday night at the Jonesborough Kiwanis Club. Jonesborough Middle School is where it's going to be from 4 until 7:30. Great fundraiser for the Kiwanis in Jonesborough. All you can eat. Spaghetti, salad, bread, dessert, and drink. Takeout available. $8 for adults, $4 for kids under 12. And we'll put a hurting on them down there. I'm going to probably not eat all day long Saturday. I'm going to put a hammer on it big time.
We'll roll you out there with a wheelbarrow.
Oh, baby. I can throw down some spaghetti being an Italian boy. So we are ready for the quiz show, Buzzer. What are the categories today?
Well, Tom, I thought you were going to be asking me.
Uh-oh.
I thought last week you told me you were going to ask me the questions.
Uh-oh.
But I can make some up real quick.
No. Whoops, that ain't good.
We started off wrong already.
That's not good. So I told you I was going to ask you the questions.
I thought so.
Well, hang on. You're talking about a wing job. Here we go.
Okay.
Let's see if I can
He's
find
going to get this big old book out.
Hang on. We're going to do this right now. Don't go too far away.
Hang on. Well, I'll play the theme.
Go ahead and play the theme because we're going to do this right now. There you go. There you go. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is good stuff. So this is a total wing job. Are you ready? Who are you playing for, by the way?
Well, I think I'm going to play for our maintenance supervisor, Raymond Yoakley, today, Tom.
Raymond's been put at a bad disadvantage because I don't have the
He's working hard out here in the snow, so I'm going to play for him.
All right.
Go easy on her.
Here we go. All right, question number 1. Famous is music trivia. John Mellencamp's first 4 albums were recorded under the name Johnny Cougar. Is that true or false?
I'm going to say that's true, Tom.
Whoa. All right, hit the bell. She's off and running. Okay. Boy, did we mess this one up. Okay. Okay. All right, question number 2. What actress born Diane Hall was the mother in the Father of the Bride movies? Was it Diane Keaton?
Yes, Tom, that's true.
All righty, hit the bell. She's 2 for 2. Who are we playing for, by the way?
Raymond Yoakley. He's sitting here watching me, so I better get him right.
Oh, boy. Heat's on. Raymond? Yeah, good luck to you, my friend.
I'd throw that in there.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to game trivia. Okay, here we go. Game trivia. This is the game of Monopoly. You ever play Monopoly?
I do, and you know Jonesborough has its own Monopoly game called Jonesborough-opoly. So.
All right. How many hotels in a Monopoly game is the number 10? How many hotels in a Monopoly game is the number 10? True or false?
8. I want to say it's 8, Tom. Let's say that's false.
Whoa, hit the bell. Woo! It's actually 12, but that's good.
Oh, 3.
3 for 3. Is Raymond getting excited over there?
Raymond is jumping up and down.
Yeah, I can tell, and I can hear the excitement in your voice, too. Cause
he thought he won just now, so he said, did I win? I said, no, not yet.
All right.
I never can get, 5 out of 5. I'm always 3 out of 5, so.
All right, here's basketball trivia. Here we go. What team did Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman both play for? Was it the Milwaukee Bucks, true or false?
Ooh, Rodman on the Bucks. I'm going to say that's false.
Okay, let's see. You say it's false. Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman, did they play for the Milwaukee Bucks? You said the false. Is that correct?
Yes.
And hit the bell. Woo!
I better get the NBA question right.
There you go. They actually play for the Detroit Pistons, part of the Bad Boys. All right, so, okay, let's see. Question number 5.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh.
I like this spur-of-the-moment question.
I do, too.
Oh, I'm just going through the book as
Maybe we found a new thing.
Yeah, maybe so, because I'm just going through grabbing stuff because I thought you were supposed to ask me, but that's okay. You've gone 4 for 4. Here we go. Question number 5, geography trivia, all right?
Okay.
Where was the strongest earthquake ever recorded? Was it in the country? Let's see. Was it in the country of Chile? True or false? The strongest earthquake ever recorded was recorded in the country of Chile. True in South America. Is that true or false?
I want to say China or Japan, but Chile also sounds like it could be true. I'm going to say that is true.
True. Final answer?
Yes.
Woo!
I got it.
Way to go. Buzzer. Buzzer, buzzer, buzzer did it on a wing job. There you go. That is awesome.
We go to 4 up there.
We go to 4. Let's go ahead and change it right now from the old webcam. All right. Miss Phelps, you went to a 4. I'll even use my finger. I won't even use the fancy eraser I got. So how about that? So Raymond just got himself a 4 for 4. Is he excited?
He is very excited, Tom. You're the perfect wingman.
I am the perfect wingman. Quiz show wins 4. Let's see. Let's put TT 3 and buzzer
1.
Buzzer 1. All right. So she has done it. Raymond Mosen, in what department does he work in?
Raymond is the maintenance supervisor for the town of Jonesborough.
Oh, those guys have been busting it, guys and ladies, for weeks now, haven't they, because of the snow? They've been working very, very hard, have they not?
They have. I tell you, our sidewalks look great. The roads look great in Jonesborough. These guys have been working hard day in and day out for a couple weeks now.
By the way, he gets himself a free oil change right up the road at American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program. You've been there, and you tell me your experience at American Import and Auto Repair.
You know what, Tom? I was there on Monday. Of all times I went to get my oil change when it was, 7 degrees?
Yes.
So, in and out within about 30 minutes.
Yep, they're great folks. Love them to death. And Tanya and Drew, and they got a guy in there, Blaine, they got a guy in there named Big Sexy. Of course, Tim and Kim Smith run the show, and so Raymond Mosley now gets a free oil change, and he also gets himself some free food from Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. So, way to go, Buzzer. You got us to the top here. 4 quiz show wins now on the Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance scoreboard. Let's talk about Jonesborough. Let's start with the Sheila K. Adams show or concert. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Sheila K. Adams is like an Appalachian mountain woman storyteller. She's really neat, has won several awards throughout the United States. She'll be here with her band, the Scofflaws, on Friday the 13th. That's next Friday in Jonesborough, and we're looking forward to it. We've not had her and her band here before, so they've got the clawhammer banjo, just some real old-time mountain music, and they throw in some neat stories and, a little bit more than your bluegrass style, too. So it'll be a fun night. That's at 7 o'clock at the Jonesborough Visitor Center. Tickets are $15 general admission, $13 for children, and we've also got some neat group rates, too.
Yep, and you also have the Jonesborough Repertory Theater's next production, which is going to be a dandy called Pride and Prejudice. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's right. JRT's Pride and Prejudice kicks off also on Friday the 13th, and it runs for a couple weeks here in Jonesborough. I think it's the 29th of March is when it ends, and it'll be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30 in the evenings and 2 o'clock matinees on Saturday and Sunday as well. So we've already been getting lots of calls about that, and we're expecting it to sell out as well.
Absolutely. A lot of good things going on in Jonesborough, even though it's cold and snowy, but spring's right around the corner. And I guess you guys, I would think, are behind the scenes already planning Jonesborough Days, aren't you?
That's right. We are already planning for Jonesborough Days, and I was just talking to one of my coworkers today. We have that hunt for the golden egg, which creates a huge panic run of like hundreds of people through downtown Jonesborough to find these golden eggs that will be filled with money. So we're getting ready to plan that next month, too.
Lots going on in the oldest town in Tennessee. What's the website we can go to find out more?
Sure, you can visit historicjonesborough.com to find out the best places to eat and where you can stay for a neat weekend getaway as well. You can also call the lovely ladies here at the Jonesborough Visitor Center, 423-753-1010.
Give me Raymond Mosley's phone number. We can get him set up with a free oil change. Buzzer, great job. So next week, who do you want to? You want to ask me? I want to ask you. What do you want to do?
Well, why don't you pick since I was the big winner? Do you want me to ask you, or do you want to ask me again? I'm on a roll.
We will defer to Horace. What do you want me to do?
I think you should ask.
I'll ask next week. All right. I ask next week again. So have you another one ready, and we'll see if we can make another winner like Raymond Mosley.
That'll sound good, Tom.
Buzzer, great job. Thank you, dear. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
See you soon.
All right. Super job right there, our buddy. Again, Buzzer, Alicia Phelps, 5 for 5. How about that? Just grab the book and go.
I've been listening to her play that game for a long time now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a reason she's called Buzzer Phelps.
Yeah, because she don't win often.
She don't win.
No.
But she finally got over the hump, and she's now a true winner on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
There you go.
And good for her.
Got it. She was right there on the edge. She almost said false on Chile.
Almost.
But the country with the strongest earthquake ever recorded was Chile in South America, and that got her that 5 for 5.
That's 10 point something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was 10 point something on the Richter scale.
Something like that, yeah.
Raymond Mosley, again, of the maintenance department in the town of Jonesborough, is a winner of the free oil change from American Import and Auto Repair, and also for the free food from Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. Quick break. We'll be right back. Going to check in with Frank Lett from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. They got a basketball tournament going on at Kingsport in Meadowview, and we'll find out how those teams are doing, including the team that we're kind of pulling for. That would be the team out of the Appalachian Athletic Conference. That would be these folks right here, the Milligan College Buffaloes. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no.
Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Thanks for being with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, day number 14 of our Fun and Frolic. We're just kind of in our infancy, if you will, in this 26th day of the month of Feb 2015. Of course, winding down, March 1st rolls in here on Sunday, and so final week of the month. And if it means better weather and spring-like weather come the change of the calendar, I'm all for it. And so we are here again, as we said, in day number 14. You can hear us on Stitcher phone app. You can find us on iTunes, on Tunein Radio. We're now on YouTube. Just type in the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and there we be on YouTube. And right now we're on livestream.com. You were telling me yesterday doing some more research. We've got listeners or followers in California, Washington State, North Carolina, of course, here in the Tri-Cities, South Carolina, Virginia.
Of course, here in Tennessee. We've got a hit out of Georgia and Florida. And speaking of Florida, my sister-in-law says she might try to tune in today. So if she's out there listening, I want to say, hey, Sharon, how you doing?
And she's in what town?
She's in Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville. There you go. Yeah. So hello to Sharon and who?
Dave. Brother Dave.
Dave and Sharon, brother-in-law.
And sister-in-law.
And sister-in-law in Jacksonville, Florida. Let's go to Kingsport, Tennessee. Our buddy is there, Franklin E. Lett from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
How's it going, fellas?
I'm doing fantastic, and so is Horace. Thank you for checking in with us. And all this snow, it's a really unique setup. We talked to Daniel Monge from Milligan College earlier in the week. The fact that the tournament is there and the fact that all the teams stay upstairs in the hotel, they just come down the elevator literally and walk out and play basketball. So snow, rain, sleet matters not. You've got a built-in tournament. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, we were just a couple of the local high school coaches are in here, and we were joking around a few minutes ago. I understand their policies, but it's been said it's kind of odd that we've got all these teams from places that don't live here, and we're making our tournament happen, and the high schools can't seem to get the playoffs going. So we're very fortunate in what we have here and able to make it happen for these NAIA schools and our visitors here in Kingsport.
You guys do a lot with the Appalachian Athletic Conference. I know you got baseball there in the spring and softball, and you guys really work with the AAC. And so this week it's the basketball tournament. Kind of tell me what's going on so far. Who are the front runners, and kind of an overview of the tournament so far.
Yeah, we've got the men's and women's both going, and basically what we do is we start. Today is the long day. If I make it home tonight before midnight, Mrs. Lett will be very happy. We started this morning at 8:30 with our first game, and the last game tips off tonight at 9:15. And we go two girls games, two boys games, two girls games, two boys games until we finish up tonight with Truett McConnell College out of Georgia and Tennessee Wesleyan College down from Athens men's team's playing at 9:15. You know, Coach Poe at Tennessee Wesleyan's got deep roots here in the Tri-Cities from the greater Kingsport area. So he's coming in trying to knock off Truett tonight in the last game. And right now, Union is, I guess you could probably say, finishing off Montreat. Coach Walters came through yesterday and as a number 9 seed knocked off 8 seed St. Andrews and got to advance today to play the number 1 seed Union Bulldogs, who are ranked in the top 25 in the country. And they're handing them a pretty hefty loss. They're up a little over 20 points right now with about 5 or 6 minutes to go in the game. So that's what's happening on the men's side. And then on the women's side, we've got Tennessee Wesleyan. The Lady Bulldogs ranked 10th in the country. Knocked off St. Andrews this morning, which came in as the 8th seed. And Tennessee Wesleyan won by 24 this morning over them, I believe. So things are just rocking and rolling. We've got the Lady Buffs playing at 3:30 against the Lady Lions of Bryan right here at the Convention Center, and then followed up, just later on today after that, Union Lady Bulldogs coming in as the 3 seed playing Bluefield. So just a fun afternoon of basketball and, some local flavor. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my buddy Billy Robinson from Milligan bringing his number 2 seed team in here to play at 7 o'clock against Bluefield, who is coached by Dobbins Bennett's men's coach's brother, also Coach Morgan. So a lot of local connections and good quality basketball going on here. If folks are out and snowed in and don't have anything to do, come on over. It's $7 for adults, $5 for students, and we got hot food and a good heated gym.
It's kind of neat. I know we do a lot of events over there at Meadowview. In fact, next week's going to be the home shows. It's used a lot. The Chamber just had their big dinner there. So tell me how they've reconfigured the big, we call it the Grand Ballroom at Meadowview, to make it a basketball facility. It's a pretty neat concept.
Yeah, it is. We take there's 2 halls in the convention center. There's the A side and the B side. We take the whole A side, put the court down. We've got about 800 seats in there for people to use. On the B side, the smaller side of the convention center, we actually used that last night. We had 400 student athletes in there for a banquet last night. So we've, kind of used all that space there. They cut right through the ballroom and used some of the breakout rooms for the locker room, officials training room, hospitality. So it's all contained here. Actually, on a scale as it would be at a school, it's actually in a smaller space than most colleges have as far as distance between the facility. So it's really neat and convenient. And like you said, it's an awful nice luxury to be able just to push the down button and go play your game.
Absolutely. We're talking to Frank Lett again from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. Lots on the schedule between now and later on this year, obviously. And tell me some other things on the horizon that KCBB is going to be hosting.
Sure, Tom. We're at about event 6 of 26. I think in the month of April rolling into May, we've got a couple of weekend baseball tournaments. We've got the AAC, as you mentioned, their softball conference tournament is the last part of April. We also have the KIAC, which is the Kentucky Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, their baseball championships at Hunter Wright Stadium. We roll right off of that one into the USSSA Super NIT, which will be 115, 120 teams for a youth weekend tournament. That ends on Sunday. Monday morning, we roll right into the AAC baseball championship. We play the top 8 teams in 4 days. Finish that up on Thursday afternoon. They seed everybody across the nation, and then we'll be hosting the opening round of the NAIA World Series. There's 9 of those across the country, and we have one here in Kingsport. 5 teams from across the country playing to try to get their way out to Lewiston, Idaho, and get through all that. And gosh, it's about May 14th, and I'll be looking to take some time off. Won't be going to the lake, I hear, but we'll be taking some time off.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the lake, at least not Boone Lake anytime soon, but it's pretty cool stuff. And again, it's before I let you go, there's a new complex in Kingsport. I know you guys are putting the finishing touches on a brand new baseball complex. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we've got Brickyard Park. Hopefully this weather hasn't done us any favors, but we'll be opening that sometime in April, and hopefully we'll be holding the AAC softball championships there. If not, we'll revert back to Don Park for one last year, and then we'll have those guys in the new facility there. And then, it's a 4-field facility, views of downtown that haven't been seen before. In addition to that, just across the tracks there, the new TNT Sportsplex, the four-court complex, they just opened about a month ago, and they've had 3 really big tournaments, between 50 and 60 teams at each of those. And then now this weekend, we're using them as our shoot-around facility for the college team. So, we're getting a lot of utilization out of that new complex, and the softball complex is coming online. So, as always, sports, youth, adult, professional, however we can do it is a big part of Kingsport and what we do. You do it well. Real quick, last question. There's a website. How do we find out more about the KCVB? You can find everything you need to know at visitkingsport.com. Visitkingsport.com. You can always give us a call at the office at 423-392-8800. And as Bob Fegans would say, we're also social. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of those good hot social media sites. We're on there spreading good news and pictures of our events and things that are happenings, as we would say, across town, not just sports-wise, but festivals and Fun Fest updates as well. You got a great report. We're going to be using you a lot, my friend. You got a lot to be talking about, obviously, a plethora of information. Franklin E. Lett, keep smiling, my friend. I'll talk to you soon, all right? All right, buddy. Thank you, guys. Have a good day and stay warm. You got it. Good man right there. He does a fantastic job. Frank Lett again from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. And go to their website, visitkingsport.com. Lots going on. And they got basketball going on in Meadowview right now, as you heard him say. The Appalachian Athletic Conference Tournament. Again, the Milligan College, let's see, the Lady Buffaloes play at 3:30 against Bryan. Again, Milligan, taking on the number 2 seed at 3:30 today. And then also you have the gentlemen will play at 7:30 tonight. They're the number 2 seed for Bill Robinson, taking on Bluefield, the Ramblin' Rams. That's a 7:30 tip, again, at Meadowview. And, what we could do tonight, not trying to plan your evening, we could go to Vito's, and we could just kind of go about another 2 miles on down the road and roll into Meadowview and watch some hoops tonight. I think might have to put that on the table, too. Yep. Okay. I know him well. That's not going to happen. So. What do you mean not going to happen? I may shag over there and watch some basketball. I think I may do that tonight. I get a little bit of downtime. We may jump in. The roads are clearing up here in the immediate Tri-Cities. They're working diligently to make that happen. I may go and watch. I'm a basketball fan. I mean, if we have Mrs. V with us, she's got to be in on that too. See, that's the reason I was a little hesitant. Yeah, because she may not want to. She may want to stay at the house tonight. When are we watching Boonton Newbie? Downton Abbey. Yeah, Downton Abbey. We have completed season 5. So we're done. So we're done until season 6 comes out. Now season 5, televised wise, has not concluded yet. So I'm not going to give any spoilers. Well, I've never seen any episodes. So. I know you have, but there are people out there that watch it like I do. Like a hawk, right? Yeah. So that won't be figured into tonight. We can't go back home and watch. Not Downton Abbey. No. I keep saying Boonton. Downton Abbey. So is it Downton? D-O-W-N-T-O-N. Oh, I'm Downton. Saying like Downton Thomas. You talk Downton. Downton. I thought you was talking about Downton Abbey. Well, that's a southern drawl, Downton Abbey. All right, on that note, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're going to check in with David Carmichael with the Johnson City Parks and Rec. Also coming up, we got David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer. Find out about what's going on with the snow out here in the woods. What do you mean with the snow in the woods? Well, how's it impacting travel and folks going out in the woods and doing some cross-country skiing or whatever. And also, we will find out from him about hunter safety courses and also licenses that run out. When's the last day of the month? Run out on Saturday. So we'll find out all about that coming up a little bit later on. And also Brian Vickers, the NASCAR driver, find out about his recovery from heart surgery as he gets ready to get back in the car next week in Las Vegas. All that coming up in hour number 2 right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on hour 2 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us. Right now we're on livestream.com. Just type in the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're there. Also later on you can pick us up on iTunes, Tunein Radio. We're also now on YouTube and also the Stitcher phone app. So those are the ways you can find us. Gosh, I'd say 24/7 now, right? Just about
anytime,
all the time. Anytime, all the time.
And Stitcher, although it's a phone app, you can go to Stitcher.com and access it that way too.
Ah.
So, and of course, Livestream has its own phone app. So if you want to download a phone app from Livestream, you can do that. And
catch us live.
Catch us live on your phone.
There we go. Stitcher.com or livestream.com on your phone, right?
You got it.
There you go. Let's go to the phone. Speaking of, he's way over yonder across the ridge in western North Carolina. Our buddy David Carmichael from the Johnson City Parks and Rec. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I am doing great. Just watching a beautiful afternoon with lots of snow and lots of sunshine.
There you go. Sun's coming out, starting to melt this off, and they're calling for 50s and 60s next week here in the Tri-City. So he's over there. He'll get back over here soon with us. And let's talk about Johnson City Parks and Rec. Let's start with youth and T-ball, youth softball and T-ball registration. Tell me about that.
We have started that registration this week, Tom. The girls T-ball program, ages 4 through 6. We've got that program going on, and then we do 3 different types of girls fast pitch softball. Ages 7 and 8-year-olds, we do a or machine pitch. Actually, instead of a coach pitch, we just let the machine pitch to the girls. Ages 9 and 10-year-olds, it's the machine pitch is 1 day a week, and the girls start learning to pitch 1 day a week. And then ages 11 to 13, it's all girl pitch. And fast pitch softball has really taken off in the area in the last few years, and especially with our program. So we do a lot with that, with fast pitch softball. The registration fees for that is $25 if you're a Johnson City resident, $30 if you're a non-resident of Johnson City.
Needs to go ahead.
And we place you according to, if you live in Johnson City, according to the elementary school district that you live in. We place you on a team with that.
What about your talent level? What about some young lady who's never played but wants to get into it and really doesn't have a clue, just wants to get out there? Is this the time to start them, or how do you get them going?
Yes, this is the time. Because we're truly a recreational program, especially in girls softball. You may find we may have a girl occasionally who's really, really talented, but this is for the girls who are the true rec players, who are not the travel team players that travel across the area and play every weekend in tournaments. These are for the girls that are just learning the game of softball.
We're talking to David Carmichael with the Johnson City Parks and Rec. He'll be with us each week with a lot of good information. So youth softball registration, 7 and 8-year-olds, 9 to 10-year-olds, 11 to 13-year-olds, T-ball registration for the 4 to 6-year-old youngsters, and we'll go to adult softball and youth kickball. Tell me about those.
Well, let's do the youth kickball first. That is something we started 6 years ago. Not every child in the spring plays baseball or softball, and at that time we were looking for something to keep children active. And what's more active than just a friendly playground game of kickball? You don't need really any equipment. You just need a pair of tennis shoes, and you go out and play. So we're doing kickball registrations right now, ages 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and 9 to 10, and same registration fee, $25 for city residents, $30 for non-city residents.
You can't play kickball in school anymore.
A program that we come up with. We've had the last few years. We have usually around 4 teams in each of the age groups, and it's just like I said, the regular friendly game of youth kickball. Adult softball, we're taking team registrations, and for many, many years, adult softball has been the bread and butter of the Johnson City Park and Recreation program. We have about 90 teams that participate each spring in our program.
Wow.
Men's and adult co-ed, men's open, men's church, co-ed church, and co-ed open. For the men's open league and the men's church league, the entry fee is $400 a team. It's a 14-game schedule with a single elimination tournament at the end, and it's $400 plus $5 for any non-Johnson City resident that plays on the team. If it's a co-ed, the church and open co-ed, it's $300 for the team, 10-game schedule with a single elimination tournament at the end, and $5 for any non-Johnson City resident that participates on the team.
Talking to David Carmichael with the Johnson City Parks and Rec. 90 teams in softball. That's a boatload of teams. You play most of your games at Wing Deer Park, is that right?
We play everything now at Wing Deer Park. Since we lost Optimus Park a few years ago, we had severe storms that come through the area. Everything that we play is at Wing Deer. We play Monday through Thursday nights there for league play, and then usually Wing Deer's taken up on the weekends for tournaments, either softball, fast pitch softball, or slow pitch or baseball tournaments.
This guy's got some great information, our buddy Carmichael. Where does the youth kickball, where do they play their games at?
We are playing those at the Wing Deer soccer field. We've got one of the soccer fields at Wing Deer, and we just put bases down and strap it off and play out on the soccer field.
So I would think that'd be, for a youngster who's not into baseball or softball or even soccer, youth kickball, I think that'd be a cool thing to do. So
it is very cool. We've had the adult program in the past, but the youth is really the years that we've had it. It's really been fun and great to watch the kids out there participating in the program.
Before I let you go, again, all this will be on the website we'll get from him in just a second where you can check out for yourself. But I was going to tell you when we talked about this that cold winter days, if you want to do some swimming, there's a couple of options in Johnson City to do some indoor swimming. Tell me about that.
Yes, you can go over at Memorial Park at our beautiful community center, Memorial Park Community Center near Cardinal Park, and we have swimming over there, open swimming, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4 to 5:45, and on Saturdays from 1 to 4:45. And it's $2 for 12 and under and $3 for 13 and up to do the swimming. At Freedom Hall, we're kind of limited right there right now due to we've got some classes going on there, also the school and everything else. But we do have Friday night swimming at Freedom Hall from 7:30 to 9, and Saturday afternoon swimming at Freedom Hall from 1 to 4:45. And the same price, $2, 12 and under, and $3, 13 and up. And if you're looking for swim classes, you can give Memorial Park a call at 434-5749 or over at Freedom Hall at 461-4872 for swim classes.
Carmichael, you know me well enough. We go back a long way. I've gone off the diving board at the Freedom Hall pool. I can do a can opener and I can get water to hit the ceiling. So
that probably would just have been some of the something amazing further tales that we had many years ago on our travels with East Tennessee State football and basketball.
Yep, he used to help me on the ball games, and his guy's a dear friend. We got some great stories, but we'll bring those up as time marches on here in the next couple of weeks. But coming off that diving board to Freedom Hall, I can bring water and hit the ceiling on a can opener. And I'm really, being a redneck, I'm really proud of that. So
that has to be amazing to see. We need to get that on YouTube.
There you go. Get that on video. Hey, before I let you go, great report on our first visit. What's a website we can go to get all this information?
What we do now, you can go to the City of Johnson City's website, or to do registration for any of our youth sports, anything like that. It is www.myjcparks.com.
myjcparks.com. I'm writing this down.
And that will do youth, and we do primarily now, we do most of our registration for our youth programs online. We probably do at least 70% of our registrations online now. It's real easy, convenient. You can do it at any time of the day or the night, and do any kind of registrations or look up any type of programming in our departments.
Great report, my friend. myjcparks.com is where you can go to get registered for youth softball, t-ball, adult softball, and youth kickball in Johnson City. Great report. I'll talk to you next Thursday, all right?
Thanks, Tom. See you later.
Yeah, great job, man. That was excellent. First time out, and he and I go way back. He was my stat man when I was doing the Bucks on the radio back in the day, and We've got some travel stories. I'll let him tell it next week. We had a little problem, I guess, be the way to define it, down in Statesboro, Georgia. We were down there doing the Bucks and Georgia Southern one year, and it was that was one for the ages right there. I'll let him tell that story because I'll be over crying when he tells it. It's classic, typical Tom stuff. I get in more problems and more scrapes.
Now, didn't you get in trouble for doing can openers off the high dive?
Yeah, I got kicked out of a place. I sure did. I most certainly did.
We won't name the place, but yeah.
It's in the Tri-Cities. And the old boy blew the whistle coming off at high dive, and I brought water, hit the ceiling.
You just gave it up.
Yeah. He said, but now here's the deal. I got to tell this story. All right, this guy's in high school. He had a couple little girls standing around the lifeguard chair, so he was big dogging it.
You were showing him up.
Well, and he was big dogging it, you know. And I had my cutoffs on. I always swim in cutoffs. I had my cutoffs on because I'm a redneck from West Virginia. I'm just not going to change.
They don't have cutoffs in pools anymore.
Well, that's what he told me. He said, you don't have certified, approved swimwear on.
You don't have a proper attire.
That's what he told me. And I said, well, Hoss, when I go to Warriors Pass State Park, I swim in these. He said, guess what he told me?
This ain't Warriors Pass State Park.
This ain't Warriors Pass State Park. And the girls went, ew. You know, and he was trying to impress these chicks hanging around the lifeguard chair. So he said.
Should have brought after Speedos.
Nah, that ain't going to happen. Where's the buzzer over there? Hit the buzzer real quick.
Too late.
That ain't happening for that. So, anyway, I still pride myself on going off high dives and making a big splash. In fact, I'll just go ahead and tell you, went to the Unicoi. It was with the church picnic.
Oh.
Went to the Fishery Park pool this
I remember
summer.
that.
I'm going off the high dive. I had kids lined up alongside the pool going, Mr. Tom, get us wet.
Get us wet. There you go.
I'm bringing up water like a mushroom cloud. Oh, yeah. Love to swim. So, anyway, Freedom Hall is a great place to swim right now indoors. You can go over there, $3 for adults, $2 for kids on Saturday afternoon. And usually there's not a whole lot of people in there. It's a great place. And so you can swim year-round. It's heated, by the way, indoor pool at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. All righty. Let's switch from an embarrassing moment doing the cat. Why did you make me bring that up? Because I got kicked out of a pool for going off the high dive, a grown man.
You brought it up, and I remembered that.
And his famous words was, "This ain't Warriors Path, buddy."
Yeah, buddy. You just can't go anywhere, can you?
No. I'm a redneck from way back, and unashamedly so. All right, so here we go. Brian Vickers, our NASCAR driver. Let's check in, see what he's got to say. If you missed Vickers, he has been out for a prolonged period of time. Had some blood clots, and now off season. He had some heart surgery, as a matter of fact. He has been limited to what he can do. And now they've given him the green light to get back in the car full-time starting next week in Las Vegas, first weekend in March. And so here is Brian Vickers, and a question was posed to him, the obvious, tell us about your recovery from your heart surgery.
With everything that's happened, how fast the recovery's been and how well I feel now relative to how I felt, a month ago or 2 months ago, much less.
And what, this is really an elementary question, but what does it mean to you to be a NASCAR driver in Sprint Cup? There's only a few of you, if you look at the whole big wide world. So
it's amazing. I think it's sometimes you forget how blessed we are to be in this sport and to be born in a great country and to great parents and to have the opportunity to race cars. I mean, there's only 43 and of the 43, there's only so many that are here year in and year out, and there's 7 billion people in the world, so it's a true blessing and something I'm very thankful for. Especially with everything, the ins and outs, and not knowing if I'd ever do it again. So I definitely have a deep appreciation for the opportunity.
Okay, one more.
The commercial you did, I see that so often, and it's a good commercial.
Yeah.
But I talk a little bit about how it's making that, fans might not get that chance, and what you feel about now being a part of that, still having a gun.
No, it's been incredible. That whole opportunity to partner with Jansen and raise awareness has been huge. For me and it's a personal story for me, right? It's not going to see a doctor. That's kind of what a lot of it is about. Is if you think something's wrong, go see a doctor, and that's something I almost didn't do, and it almost cost me a lot. That's not a mistake I've made twice. I only made that mistake once. But it's been fun, and that commercial just runs all the time. It's all over the place. I hear something about it all the time, but it turned out well.
And Brian Vickers, again, with us, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver. Again, he's going to be back in the seat next week. And, of course, Brett Moffitt will be running this week, the 60th anniversary of the Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota with Michael Waltrip Racing, and Vickers back in the seat next week in Las Vegas. You got an update about the Boone Lake. What's the very latest on that now?
Basically, they're going to keep that water level down at least another year while they do their assessment, I assume. I heard a week or so ago that they were going to bring the water levels back up, at least to a level where the property owners could get their boats and whatnot off the lake, instead of hanging them up in their in dry dock, so to speak. But it says right now, they're evidently they're not going to do that. They're going to leave levels down where they are now and not bring it up.
Good timing, because coming up in just a few minutes, we'll talk to David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer, although he's not with the TVA, but obviously his job is going to be impacted in and around Boone Lake as an officer with the TWRA, so we'll get his thoughts about that coming up here in a few minutes. Boone Lake to remain below normal levels for the next year, and that really puts a cramp on the marinas.
They won't have any business this summer.
No, nothing. No, they just got a death blow, a death knell, at least for one more year. But again, some of these folks, they live and die off of the revenue off of these boaters coming in there. So that's not going to happen. I know. What's the Sonny's Marina? They have groups out there in concert or bands, I should say, out there all the time.
Burgers out there too.
Food, great food. So all that's been put on hold. These folks will have to find another way to make a living, I guess, because these marinas aren't going to be in existence this year, not going to be in operation. And then your homeowners. I'm not a realtor, but what does that do for your property value? That all of a sudden, if you got your home, you think about putting your home up for sale, or your condo, it's in and around Boone Lake. What's that do now to the value of your property? Does that diminish it?
And try to sell one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not going to happen for a while. Why would anybody come in and spend money on property they don't know?
There you go.
If it'll ever be back up to that way.
Yeah.
And there's just too much uncertainty.
Exactly. A lot of question marks. So now we've been told Boone Lake to remain below normal levels for the next year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I got to go find somewhere else to put the Sheila Fay in.
The Sheila Fay.
That's the name of my boat.
Oh boy. In honor of Mrs. V. There you go. By the way, we got the green light to go to Vito. Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
Whoa.
I hope he's got a trough set up.
He better get a trough set up. I'm going to text him here in a minute and say, Richard, we're coming. And I can't speak Mrs. V. I wouldn't insult her, but I know you and I can throw the chow down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she will eat, but nothing like you and I will do.
No.
Because I'm going to get with it. I'm hankering for some Italian food at Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. We're going today. Road trip. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We're going together, or we're driving separately?
Well, you can drive with me if you want to, if you dare.
Oh, you're a great driver.
Okay.
You got that new pick-em-up truck?
Oh, I'll tell you what, you're going to sit in the back seat because that's where you need to be because you try to tell me where to go all the time.
Okay.
Backseat driver.
There you go. All right. Well, plus she'll be with us, and I can't imagine you put Mrs. V, your bride of 30-plus years, in the back seat while you got me up front. I don't think that's going to work. So I'll be in the back going driving Miss Daisy.
We'll take Snow White.
Driving Miss. Who's that? Oh, your truck. Is what you called it?
Yeah, it's my name of my truck.
Snow White's the name of your truck?
Snow White's the name of my truck.
Are you one of the 7 dwarfs? No.
Nope.
No, you're not anything but a dwarf. No. All right. Whew. Let me tell you the thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. Again, 282-1389 is the number to call. And here it is. Responding to life or reacting to life determines how far you're going to go in life.
Wow.
Responding to life or reacting to life determines how far you're going to go in life, which is very true.
Yeah.
John Wayne used to say you can lay there, you can get up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, dust yourself off, and get back at it because we're all going to get knocked down, right?
Yep,
You've been knocked down. Mrs. V's been knocked down. I've been knocked down. Everybody gets knocked down. So the question is, do you get back up or do you lay there and feel sorry for yourself? Yeah, have a self-pity party. So responding to life or reacting to life determines how far you're going to go in life.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That's our thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. And let me tell you about the program they've got right now. It's called the Smart Ride. They reward drivers who always play it safe. Horace would be eligible for this because he's a safe and courteous driver. Oh, yeah.
Ask Mrs. V that.
Oh, yeah. Smart, no, I'm not going to go down that road. Smart Ride gives you personalized feedback to help you make even safe driving decisions. Join them for a free 6-month program. Start saving today. The safer you drive, the higher the discount. You get up to 30% with Nationwide. You'll earn an instant 5% discount when you sign up. Safe drivers cost less to insure. This is how it works. You get this little gizmo that plugs into where'd you say it plugs in? Right underneath the steering wheel, right?
Yeah, wherever they plug in their diagnostic equipment.
Yeah.
That plugs in that same little place.
That's where it goes. And so the Smart Ride device does not collect GPS information, will not detect your location. Driving data is only collected to help you become a safer driver. It will not, on a negative affect your premium. You can withdraw from the Smart Ride program at any time. What it does, it checks the miles driven, your nighttime driving miles, or minutes, I should say, fast accelerations, and hard braking. And those all go into a computer. You go online to get feedback about your driving. And, again, the safer you drive, the higher the discount you'll get, up to 30%. You also get a weekly summary, an email, and an update on your driving performance from the previous week, so you always know how you're doing. If you're a safe driver, Smart Ride was developed especially for you. It's called Smart Ride from Nationwide Insurance, one of our great sponsors, Larry Kaiser and Nationwide Insurance. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Larry Kaiser, 282-1389, or check him out, Kaiser L, all lowercase, at nationwide.com. And, again, his thought for the day is responding to life or reacting to life determines how far you're going to go in life. So it's a great, great line, and we appreciate him very, very much. 282-1389, the number to call. Again, the big story locally, Boone Lake to remain below normal levels through this time next year at the minimum. Is that right?
That affects me because we talk about baseball, basketball, and football, okay, which is great, but there's other sports out there, and one of them is fishing.
There you go.
And that's going to affect me because I got to go find somewhere else to put my boat and fish now.
There you go.
So,
bloop. There you go. The Sheila Fay.
Yes.
There you go. I love that. This man, his boat Snow White is.
My truck's Snow White.
His truck's Snow White. His boat is Sheila Fay, and his dog's name is Tebow. I love it. What's the cat's name? Mousy?
You got Tiger and Mellow.
Oh, Mellow. I just knew sort of the name.
There's nothing mellow about Mellow.
No. Tiger and Mellow and Tebow and Sheila Fay and Snow White. A grown man has his truck named Snow White, and that will come back on.
Every vehicle I've ever had been named.
Yeah. What's some of the other names?
Well, you had let me go back. The first one was Susan. That was the Buick.
Yep.
Now, I don't know why I ever thought of that. It's just Susan, but this is Susan.
Okay. Because it was not after a former beau, right? Former lady.
No, just
Susan.
Just Susan.
All right.
Yeah.
What's another one you named it?
That car?
Any of them.
Any of them? Well, let's see here. The Pinto. What did I name the Pinto?
Flash. Flames. Right.
Oh shoot! It was a challenging name too.
Oh.
I can't even remember them. I had a name for everything, but I can't even remember them now. I remember my Mazda had a little Mazda truck. That was the Blue Streak.
Blue Streak.
Yeah.
Yep. Snow White, Susan, the Blue Streak. All right.
That's all I'm going to put right now. That's all I can remember.
Pinto's drawn a blank.
Drawn a blank. I think it had something to do with horses.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'll think of it in a second.
The Pinto. Yeah.
I'll remember it in a second.
Had a Buick Le Mans T37. Named it, don't know why, have no reason looking back, but it was named Dixie Cup.
Dixie Cup.
Oh, yeah. Don't know why. Don't know anybody named Dixie. All I know was, should I?
I remember the Pinto.
Pinto was?
It wasn't named, it was Betsy Sue.
Betsy Sue.
Yes.
Okay.
Betsy Sue.
Any reason? Probably no reason.
No reason.
Gotcha.
It just looked like a Betsy Sue, and that's why I called it.
Gotcha. Dixie Cup, great story. We'll go to the break. Going back from home to Marshall, going back to school, snowing like a day like yesterday or today. Hit the little, just uneven on the bridge, just a little bit of a bump. Going down the road, going up on a bridge. Just enough, for whatever reason, a little thump. All four windows went right down to the bottom of the door. So I'm tooling down through, and I had snow blowing in on my dashboard. I was cranking on my 8-track to Leonard Skinner. Just turned it up a little bit more. T for Texas, T for Tennessee. Got snow blowing through on my dashboard. All four windows are down. People pass me, truckers and stuff, honking, looking at me like moron. And I just stuck my hand out and I just kept on driving away.
Did they go down real fast, or did they go down like power windows?
Oh no, they just went
whoosh.
Yeah, all four.
So they weren't power windows then.
No, they were the old crank 'em downs, and I hit that just enough of a. For whatever reason, I mean, I went on the same interstate.
Jumped the tracks, down they went.
Down they went. All four of them at the same time, simultaneously. It's like somebody just.
And they won't roll back up.
No. No. So, should I tell you what I did next when I finally landed in Huntington in front of the apartment?
Did you use duct tape and
Huntington
plastic?
Herald Dispatch newspapers. Is what I did. That's exactly what I did.
That didn't last long.
No, it did not. I learned that the hard way. It lasted one. It lasted one night, and so in fact, somebody came along with a Sharpie on the passenger window and wrote "stupid" on it because here I've got Huntington Herald Dispatch newspaper. That's cover up my window, which is really stupid. They wrote "stupid," and so I went and got some plastic, and then ultimately went and got the windows. Because they all jumped the tracks at the same time when they hit that little bump. So there you go. But I went on down the road listening to Leonard Skinner, T for Texas and T for Tennessee. There you go. So the old Dixie Cup got me to the school with all four windows down, with snow blowing through, driving down the road. And those truckers that passed me and honked the horn, and they'd look at me like, why do you got your windows down? And I just waved, kept on, stuck my hand that wave like – I'm a moron. Leave me alone.
I'm preparing for the Olympics. Got to have the cold air.
The Winter Olympics. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with David Crum from the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency on this Thursday, Feb 26, as you're tuned in to. We appreciate you being with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
See what might be hiding in your coverage at farmers.com/gaps.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, went 5 for 5 in the quiz show today. Buzzer did, and so as a result, she got herself a free oil change to her buddy Raymond Mosley, works in the maintenance department of the town of Jonesborough. So we're now up on the scoreboard. We got 4, 3 for me and 1 for Buzzer. So the Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance Quiz Show wins are at 4 now. By the way, hello to our buddy the Apester this afternoon and Tommy Wyman. Appreciate those kids very much from Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. And let's go to the phone. If you missed it earlier, we've been tracking the press conference earlier this afternoon. Boone Lake to remain below normal level for the next year, next calendar year, which puts us minimum at February of 2016. And a young man will have it'll be impacted to a certain degree as our next guest, David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer. True or false, big guy, it's going to impact patrolling on the lake. Fair statement?
It'll definitely have an impact on the patrolling of Boone Lake this coming summer with the water levels down, because just like we've been announcing to folks to be leery of the water hazards, we'll have to be leery of the water hazards this coming summer. It'll definitely have an impact on the patrolling of Boone Lake this summer, yes.
Well, I know this is not your bailiwick, but again, if you just take a step back, the commerce. I mean, you look at these marinas that, obviously they live and die by the spring and summer boating crowds, the folks fueling up using the gasoline at the marinas. There are some of the marinas, we said earlier, have bands and they serve food, and all this is going to be, I guess they'll still do that, but it's going to be way, way down in attendance, I would think, simply because the lake's going to be down. So you have homeowners. We talked earlier about folks that may be wanting to sell their property, and now does anybody want to come buy a property on Boone Lake that's, for another year, it's not going to have the water near what it's supposed to be? So this decision, and I know it's something they had to do, but this decision affects a lot of people in a lot of different areas, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It has quite a bit of impact on the whole overall area. It's going to have an impact on the area lakes also, as far as the amount of pressure put on Watauga, South Holston, even Patrick Henry, even lakes as far as Douglas and Cherokee. It'll have a major impact on the area, the whole region.
And so I don't know, you know this better than I, what empties in, what's up above Boone? Is it South Holston? Is kind of a domino effect? What dumps into Boone Lake?
You've got South Holston and Watauga. The Holston and Watauga rivers and the lakes end up forming Boone Lake. That ends up going on down the system.
We're talking to David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer, who joins us each week, and so that decision was made earlier in the early in the afternoon. Again, a public information meeting. If you're interested, to be at Daniel Boone High School on Tuesday, March the 10th. Horace was telling us, so we'll get that time, or we know the day. We'll get the time at Daniel Boone High School if you're interested out there to attending that. I would think if you're a property owner or have a vested interest in Boone Lake, you'd want to be there for that meeting on March the 10th. Crum, let's talk about the snow. It's out there, obviously. It's going to start melting off soon, but how's the snow impacted the woods and waterways this week for you guys and ladies of the TWRA?
Well, as far as patrol goes, we've been kind of stayed, use your noggin. Try not to go into areas where there's more ice. We've kept an eye on some of the more remote areas where people like to go play from time to time. We've had different calls. People saying they've been stuck here, stuck there. Remember, a four-wheel drive can get you into places that you may not need to be. I remember those days back in my youth where as soon as the first snowflake fell, we would all head to Viking Mountain in Greene County. We'll play in the mountains. But just use your noggin. Be sure you take plenty of food with you. The snow has had a major impact on the whole area around here. We're still, they say what we might get last I heard, and it's been a little while. Of course, East Tennessee weather, if you don't like it, it'll wait 5 minutes, it'll change. But last I heard, we may get another inch tonight. Is that correct, Tom?
Could be, yeah. There's chances of flurries in the higher elevations. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, some accumulation, I should say.
Okay. I talked to some officers further down the mountain range that an officer down in Jefferson County said they got 7 to 8 inches. And in some areas it's been heavily impacted. As far as travel goes for us and patrolling, we're still going to some of the normal areas. Of course, weather this cold, some people don't like to get out fishing. There's just less activity outdoors. Of course, you'll find more people out doing recreational things such as sledding this time with all the snow, which is a really good thing to do. It has had an impact on us too, but next week will be different.
We're talking to David Crum, our officer and buddy from the TWRA. He's been with me 10, 11, 12 years doing this each week, giving you some great information. And one of those, you got to be ready for it because your licenses are about to run out. Tell me about that.
Exactly. Matter of fact, this weekend, on February 28th, all the licenses, the 2014-2015 licenses run out. You need to go out and purchase your new license. New licenses were downloaded, got it confirmed. We're downloaded already to the license agents to the real systems. So to go out and get your 2015-2016 license, I want to advise folks, if you go out and go ahead and purchase your license now, prior to July 1, you'll be able to purchase license at the current prices. After July 1, you'll have the price increase that's already been passed. So if you want to go ahead and get your license at regular cost, go ahead and get your license prior to July 1.
We're talking to David Crum again with the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer here on this Thursday, Feb 26. Right along with that, you were telling me off air earlier today, spring turkey season right around the corner. So as a result, we're getting ready to offer some hunter safety courses and classes. Tell me about that.
I want to remind folks to keep an eye on the website of tnwildlife.org. And if you're looking for a hunter safety class with turkey season right around the corner, juvenile hunt is at the end of next month on March. It's not too early to start thinking about it because a lot of folks end up getting in a bind looking for a hunter education course. Remember, if you're born after January 1st of 1969, you have to take, pass, and possess proof that you've passed a hunter education course in the state of Tennessee. Another state's hunter education course will be recognized by the state of Tennessee as passing and fulfilling that requirement. But if you're looking for a course, keep an eye on the website. You go on the website, you'll see a link there for hunter education courses, and you can put in your zip code, and you can put in a distance from your zip code around that area where hunter education courses will be. It'll pull up, the new system will pull up and show you different ones offered in that area. So keep in mind, be sure you have one of those and meet that requirement before you go out hunting.
It's just that simple. And so that the website, I should say, is tnwildlife.org. And, again, that's what's going on in the woods and waterways right now. And this kind of weather, with all the snow and the cold, is this the fish bite? Is this a good fishing weather right now?
I actually talked to a fisherman the other day, and he said, believe it or not, right now is a really good time to go out fishing. Matter of fact, I talked to a guy Monday night. I was at a meeting, and he said right now, even with the snowfall, that fish are biting and they're doing really well. Down on Douglas, the crappie, or crappie as a lot of people call them, have been biting really well. As long as the wind's not blowing real heavy, they're biting well, getting a lot of pressure put on them. Largemouth and smallmouth have been hitting. Some of the striper fishermen have been out saying that it's a good time to go out. A lot of it's braving the elements, and as you and I talk all the time, Tom, be sure you dress properly if you're going to go out and enjoy what the good Lord above has provided for us here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. So the next chance to harvest will be coming up spring turkey season. Is that right? Is that the next one up?
Yes, sir. It's the next one up. Of course, all small game seasons with the expiration of the license on February 28th. That's also the end of all the small game hunting seasons for this past year. So the next time to harvest something, the next season right around the corner, you are correct, Tom, is turkey season.
And last question, if I go out and I say, they've got 18 officers in all these counties, they're not going to catch me, there's not enough of them out there. If I do get caught with a expired license, what kind of money will be coming out of my billfold?
Well, Tom, I'll just put it to you this way. A lot of the ticket cost, the overall ticket cost, will depend upon the county court cost. If you're caught in certain counties, one county in this district that I work in has a court cost of $311, just the court cost.
Whoa.
That is in addition to the fine that you were assessed for not having a license. So you can tell me, going out and buy a $28 license versus paying $300+ for a ticket, I believe it's a little better off. I don't know. I went to Greenville High School, and, 1 + 1 did equal 2 at Greenville High School. I don't know about how you guys counted up in West Virginia, Tom, but buying that license is a whole lot cheaper than getting a ticket.
Well, Jethro Bodine would say all from naught still naught, or not from naught still all is what he would say. And so, yeah, you're right. $28 versus $300+ is a no-brainer. So where do we get our licenses, by the way?
You can go to any license agent. You can actually buy them online if you wish. If you'd like to go online and buy them, there's a link there that you can go and buy them and print off your license. Or you can go to different sporting goods stores, Walmart, Kmart, Dick's Sporting Goods. In Washington County, Mahoney's has them, and some of the other stores around. Some of the gas stations still sell them. We have different license agents spread out all over our region.
There you go. Great reporting. And go to that website at tnwildlife.org. Crum, before you go, my friend, give us that famous hook you do each week, would you please?
Remember, folks, get your kids hooked on hunting and fishing, and you don't have to worry as much about them getting hooked on other things. And safe boating saves lives.
Go out there, make a snowman or whatever you said you're going to do, not have a snowball fight with the missus and the kids, and have a great evening. I'll talk to you next week, all right?
Sounds good, Tom. Once again, be sure you keep that ever-growing forehead covered up because you don't want to be mistaken for a snowman.
There you go. For Sasquatch, right?
Sasquatch. Yeah, I believe you'd be a Sasquatch, if I'm not mistaken.
The abominable snowman. Very good. Crum, great job, my friend. Keep smiling. I'll talk to you next week, all right?
All right, you take care, Tom.
Yes, sir. Good man. Appreciate his friendship. Does a great job. David Crum, the TWRA wildlife officer. So a $28 license versus one court or one county in the region, $311 court cost. So It's a no-brainer. Go get your license or go online to get it at tnwildlife.org.
I'll probably do mine first of the week. I'll probably do that myself.
Because everybody's expires on Saturday, the 28th.
Saturday. Yeah, I need to get mine. I got, of course, if you do any fishing, you've got to have a trout stamp because you might catch a trout on a lake too, so you never know. So.
Yeah. Going to go fishing this year. We'll take the little lady fishing. We went through a local store last night, and she found, of course, they have all these themed kids fishing rods, and so she went nuts.
Little Mermaid?
No,
Frozen.
There you go. Put it here. It's like Elsa and whatever her name is, and it's a Frozen. So I'm getting ready to unload $13 and buy a Frozen. I don't reckon they even cast. I guess they do. I don't know. For $13, you can only
I'll
surmise.
help you out there, big guy. We'll take her. We'll get her. We'll hook her onto something.
Yeah. So, I want to take her the first experience. I've told you the story about the first time I ever went hunting. Went up and sit down. My father, we're going to go hunting, squirrel hunting. We went up and didn't see a squirrel, not one squirrel the whole Saturday. I'm out in the woods. I'm laying up against a tree, bored to tears. It got so bad we started shooting just tree limbs just to say we shot
something.
Yeah. And so never went back. It kind of killed my spirit. So I'm a big proponent. If you're going to go do something the first time with a kid, make it be a positive experience so they want to come back and not do what I did because I got bored and I got 3 brothers. They all hunt. I was not interested in it because that one time. So but the first time I went fishing, I caught some sunfish. So I want to take her out someplace and get is that sunfish? Is that right?
Yeah, bluegill.
Bluegill, a little something where she can spit and they jump on her hook and she
size your hand.
There you go. And that way she can say she caught something and it'll hopefully stair-step her on wanting to be a fisher person or a fisher lady. So a lot of ladies do fish, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they sure do. So now are you on the boat kind of guy or are you on the bank kind of guy?
It depends on what you're doing. Mostly if you're doing bass fishing, you're going to be on the boat. So you can run around and hit different spots. But
on the Sheila Fay.
On the Sheila Fay.
There you go.
But if you're into stripers or perhaps catfishing, bank's fine. So
where would I go for bluegill sunfish? Bank or out on the boat?
But publicly speaking, there's probably several places you can get bluegill, no problem.
Okay.
I ran across a bunch of good hot bluegill spots this past summer at Boone, but of course you can't go to Boone.
Won't be there this year. And, that's a little tiny puddle, and it's really sad. I mean, it's not funny because there's going to be a lot of folks impacted with that. But you're right, no fishing this year. I mean, it's down to, what I saw when I go across.
Looks like a riverbed.
Yeah, up there at near the Tri-Cities Flea Market there in Bluff City, across that bridge. You look up through there, and it looks like it's wide as this room, maybe.
It's a creek.
Yeah, so there won't be any fishing there, will there?
Well, there's going to be fish in there.
Yeah,
but not to the level and to the sport fishing that we're used to.
So here's a dumb question, I guess. Where did all those fish go?
Beats me.
They didn't
I wonder where they go every year anyways when they bring the levels down.
Yeah, so. That's a good. I need to call and ask somebody, where do these fish go? Because the lake's full of them, and then once the lakes drop down, in this case way down, historic
the old neighborhood
levels,
gets crowded.
Yeah, or in a smaller body of water, there's more fish to catch.
Yeah.
And if they don't go anywhere, then it's like okay. It's like shooting a fish out of a barrel, right?
I guess.
That's a very good question.
I just don't fish in the winter. They say it's great fishing, but I just don't want to get out there and get cold.
You have a homework assignment between now and tomorrow.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. I'd like for you to find out.
Where the fish go.
Where the fish go when they drop the lake level.
I have no idea.
I never thought of that till just now. They don't go through the dam, do they? They're through the spillway.
I guess they could. I mean, they come out of the,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Homework assignment. Can you find out?
I will do my best, but I'm
not
going to guarantee anything. But because quite frankly,
you don't care.
I don't care.
Great, nice. Okay.
As long as they're there in the summer, I don't care.
Okay, nice. Nice to know things matter here at the Old Tom Taylor Sports Show. Frankly, Scarlett, I got you right off of Gone with the Wind. I got you. Life has its twists and turns. Good way to segue, which makes it hard to predict your financial needs. But if you talk about savings, the future becomes much more clear, and they do with our buddies at Wells Fargo Advisors. They believe conversation leads to financial clarity, getting a game plan. Plan your work and work your plan. So start a conversation today with Jeff Bedford, Tim Colvin, Greg Taylor, Natalie Wells at their new location, the corner of Center and Shelby, in downtown Kingsport. Wells Fargo Advisors, together we'll go far. Wells Fargo Advisors, Financial Network, LLC, member SIPC. And the number to call them is at 765-1000. And those guys and Natalie, dear friends, Jeff Bedford, Tim Colvin, Greg Taylor, Natalie Wells, they can take care of you at Wells Fargo Financial Network on Center Street in Kingsport. Brand new digs, and they just got the brand new sign up on the outside wall here about 2-3 weeks ago. It looks very sharp, very easy to find them now in downtown Kingsport on Center Street. Again, at 765-1000, the Wells Fargo Financial Advisors Financial Network. Jeff Bedford, Tim Colvin, Greg Taylor, and Natalie Wells. And so those are our buddies, and we appreciate them very, very much. We'll take our final break, come right back, and see what else is going on in the sports world on this Thursday, Feb 26. We thank you for being with us as you are watching and listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show along with Horace again on this Thursday. Call unto me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. That's our Bible verse of the day, Jeremiah 33:3. One more time. Call unto me and I will answer you. There you go. Call unto me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. So he'll let you in on, kind of open up peel back the layers and let you in on things that you would obviously and otherwise not know about. That's our verse of the day. Again, our show is dedicated to the man who hung on the cross for us. Again, Jeremiah 33:3 is our verse of the day. Former Green Bay Packers tight end Brandon Bostic said he received death threats after he botched the onside kick recovery in the NFC Championship game against Seattle. Former NFL player who went through something similar has helped him deal with it. So Bostic, a seldom-used backup, was supposed to block on the play to allow sure-handed receiver Jordy Nelson to recover the kickoff that would have given the Packers possession with a 19-14 lead and just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. And he did not. Obviously didn't work, and Seattle went on to win it. He was surprised to receive a phone call from former NFL running back Ernest Biner, whose fumble in the 87 AFC Championship game for the Cleveland Browns cost them a trip to the Super Bowl. And he said Biner called him out of the blue, and now they talk about once or twice a week. His biggest advice is face your mistake and don't run from it. So I remember in baseball, Bill Buckner let the ball go through his legs. Was it the Red Sox or was it was Buckner for the Red Sox or the Mets? Anyway, let the ball go through his legs, and he heard about that every day. I mean, they've never let him forget that. Bill Buckner, I think he's passed away, if I'm not mistaken, but that was a baseball guy that flubbed up, and they've never let him forget it. So here's Brandon Bostic. So what do you tell folks? I mean, what would you tell Bostic, who has gotten death threats because of his fumble and his mess up there on the old NFC football game?
That's where you go where people are just they take it too serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a game.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a Super Bowl. It's a game. It's entertainment, yes. But, you know, the guy's a human. Everybody's human. We make mistakes.
Yeah. Seahawks flubbed up in the Super Bowl. Did the sun come up the next day?
Oh, yeah.
Has life gone on?
It sure has.
All the boys get paychecks up
they
there in
got
Seattle?
Their paychecks.
There you go.
Win or lose.
Train rolls on. So it is that which it is an old saying my dad used to say, and he was right. Anyway, Seahawks went on to win 28-22 in overtime, and Bostic has been getting death threats. Ernest Biner from the Browns has called him up and said, just face up your mistakes, just be honest and say you messed up and keep on going with it. But it's easy to fire shots and be an armchair quarterback, which people do all the time, and so it's tough stuff for Brandon Bostic.
Got a couple of NASCAR things here if you want to hear them.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, Danica Patrick
Uh-oh.
She was issued a letter of warning.
Uh-oh.
Evidently, her car did not meet specs pre-race.
GoDaddy didn't go then, huh?
They did not. So she
No.
got herself a little warning letter.
Really?
Now, what that means, I don't know. They did not say what rule violation was broken, but her car did not evidently come up to speed on the pre-race inspection.
Huh.
So she got a little letter of warning.
Tighten up, huh?
Tighten up. Stuart Haas.
At it again.
Yeah, but they're my guys.
Yeah, that's your boys and lady.
And speaking of Stuart Haas, on the heels of Kurt Busch's suspension, NASCAR has changed their rule book.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Tweaked it?
They've tweaked it.
What are we doing now?
The first, of course, Wednesday, NASCAR released a series of technical bulletins to the teams. And the first one was under the membership section of the rule book. It states, any NASCAR member charged with any violation of the law, misdemeanor and or felony, shall notify NASCAR prior to the next scheduled event or within 72 hours of being so charged, whichever is earlier.
Now read that again. I want to hear that again.
Under the membership section in the rule book, new edition states, any NASCAR member charged with any violation of the law, misdemeanor or felony, shall notify NASCAR prior to the next scheduled event or within 72 hours of being so charged, whichever is earlier. In other words, they want to know immediately so they can take action.
There you go. So they're not caught.
So they're not caught with their pants down
there
like,
you go.
Kurt
Being
Busch.
embarrassed.
Oh, here comes around the corner. What happened? Yeah, this happened 6 months ago.
Gotcha. All right. I can see that. I think it's out of fairness to them. I think they should be told when one of their drivers that they promote all the time has done something wrong and needs to be they need to be told about that. I don't think that's asking too much.
Yep.
Basketball tonight, the Bucks are on the road. They're down in the Citadel down in Charleston, South Carolina. The East Tennessee State men's team trying to get a W and get ready for the tournament next week. That'll be happening across the mountain in Nashville at the Civic Center. So they're playing hoops here tonight. College baseball rankings are out. Top 10 college baseball teams. Texas Christian TCU, the number one team in the land. Virginia, LSU, Vanderbilt, Florida, Houston, Texas Tech, UCLA, Arizona State, and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Top 10 this week in college baseball. We got 4 minutes left, and I want to squeeze in what was funny. What did I say wrong?
No, you didn't say anything wrong. It's just a text I got.
Oh, okay. I always.
Yeah, sometimes things are funny.
Yes, they are. Who sent it, Mrs. V?
Nope. Man-child.
Man-child.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's out of snuff.
Oh, boy. He's had a snuff?
He's out of snuff.
He's out of snuff.
Yeah, he needs some Copenhagen.
Does his mother know he dips?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's out of Copenhagen. The man-child, he's
he
texted you
he
SOS
texted me,
for
wants me to
snuff.
bring him home a can of wintergreen Copenhagen. Like he can't go out and get it himself.
I'm thinking, okay. How old is this guy?
He's 22.
22, and he's texted you needing a can of snuff.
Yeah.
And you're going to take it to him.
I don't know.
You know what a Papa Bear would – anyway, that's a whole different story. Tennessee girls basketball high school coaches, and we ran and raved about it for 2 days. Now we want to go ahead and do a follow-up one more time. Rutherford County Director of Schools Don Odom announced Wednesday that Smyrna's Sean Middleton and Riverdale's Corey Barnett won't be permitted to coach at their schools or any other Rutherford County school athletic program for the 2015-2016 school year. Odom said Smyrna Principal Rick Powell had already decided to remove Middleton as coach. Odom also said the two coaches would not be eligible for the coaching stipend they got for the 2015-2016 year.
Ooh, hit him in the pocketbook.
You know what's it made? I wonder how this compares to our coaches here locally. These guys made $8,300 each to coach high school basketball, which is, not a lot of money, I don't guess.
On top of their teacher salary.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that's the kind of money we make up here in Northeast Tennessee. I would have to double check what the coaching stipend is, but it says both coaches will not be paid their $8,393 each for the 15-16 school year. And Smyrna and Riverdale both banned from the playoffs on Monday. Smyrna was 21-8. Riverdale was 22-8. So those two teams are out. So the coaches can't coach next year, and they also got hit in the billfold. So I think now I'm happy. I'm okay with it now.
Did you not say that one of the athletic directors had already thought about removing him as coach?
Had already decided to remove him. He'd already done it. So
removing permanently or removing for the season?
I guess for the season. So
next season.
Doesn't delve into that too much. But both coaches can't coach next year in Rutherford County. Now, that doesn't say – so then that brings up Okay, if they
well, TSSAA won't let them. They suspended them for a year period, so they can't go anywhere in the state of Tennessee. I wouldn't.
There
think.
you go.
I
You're
wouldn't
right.
think.
I was thinking, could they come up here or go to another part of the state and coach?
No,
so
they can jump
they're
to
out.
Kentucky or go to Georgia or
Yeah,
somewhere.
go to another state. But there again, that athletic director, principal in that school would have to, I would think, take a long, hard look of letting these guys come back and do it again. So anyway, that's the very latest, and that is what we have, again, from the Smyrna and Riverdale coaching situation. Both coaches out next year. Both coaches not going to be paid their stipend of $8,393 each. So that's it. And that is it for us. We're about out of time. I want to say thanks to Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, Max Medicine Mart, Make Tracks to Max, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, Vito's, Cherokee Barbershop, our buddy Gator, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Book Lovers Warehouse, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, and Wells Fargo Financial Network. The advisors there, those great folks. And, again, we'll do it again tomorrow at 1 o'clock from 1 to 3. NASCAR getting ready to roll tomorrow, weather permitting. Lots of practice, lots of qualifying getting ready to go tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Stop 2 of the NASCAR season in Atlanta at the Motor Speedway. We have all that for you tomorrow, and also all the other sports that you'll need. And we thank you again for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. For Horace, this is Tom Taylor again. As we tell you, as always, win or lose, boy, not more truer words need to be spoken now in this day and age. Win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.